This
Okay, to
conference will
understand,
now be recorded.
yeah, to understand that one, first we need to understand what is WSDL and what does it contain. So if you remember, we have been using some APIs like this. In some, we have taken some calculator example, and we have seen these are all the operations present in it, and we have used this XML request body, and we have hit this one, and we were getting some response, right? So how did we get this one? So we got this one using the WSDL. So let's see first. So before developing our SOAP API, first we need to understand what is WSDL and what are the components present in it. So for that one, generally for while developing any SOAP API, so 99% in today's market, no one will ask us to develop a SOAP API. I mean, expose an API using SOAP operations. They will mostly 99% they will go for REST only, because that is very flexible and it is providing all types of data. But if you are coming to WSDL, it won't provide any. It won't support all kinds of data, right? It accepts only XML type of data. So in this situation, mostly 99% we will go with REST APIs. But if at all client asks that he wants his API to be in SOAP APIs, then you need to understand first the WSDL structure. So let me go for it. So this is a sample WSDL structure Mule has provided us. So what is WSDL is Web Service Definition Language. So before understanding that, you all know about RAML, right? So we have seen what is RAML and why do we need it, or what are the operations present in it, like what are the components present in it. So same, the concept is same. So WSDL is same as RAML, but it will be in XML structure. That's all. In RAML, we have seen what are the methods provided and what is the type is there, what are the examples we have seen, data types we have seen, and everything we have seen in the RAML structure. If RAML structure only supports for REST APIs. For SOAP APIs, we have to see WSDLs. That is the main difference. So if you see here, this is a sample WSDL. I'll pin you in the chat box. If you see here in this one, this is how our WSDL looks like. So just explore this one. So here you will be seeing like what are all the operations we have. Like here you'll be having services, and let's go from the top. So here you see this is a list inventory. List inventory is one of the type they are providing us. If you do this one, you will get all the types of elements we have. Track order response, authenticator header. So if you see here, order t-shirt response. List inventory response. Track order response. And fault means if any error occurs in SOAP, generally in SOAP, the error string will be coming under fault element. So in this way, it has everything which we need. Like what are, so by seeing this, what we can understand, there are three operations. Like in our REST APIs, in the beginning classes, I have explained what is the difference between REST API and SOAP API. REST API will have methods like post, get, and all, and we will have our resources like add employee, fetch employee, like that. But while coming to SOAP API, we will not have methods, but we'll have operations. So these are the operations it is providing us. List inventory response. So this is the example. So if you see here, so it is giving the structure. So it will have something like this. It is saying it will be like something like this. So it is giving it is explaining what are all the operations present and what are all the request and response profiles look like. So if you see here, what does it contain? It is saying in order t-shirt it will have body. So whenever you load this WSDL, you will be able to see all the operations. So generally, whenever you have to develop any SOAP APIs, you need WSDL. So how to create WSDL? 99% client will give you WSDL. What is the type which he is expecting? He will be giving you WSDL. Otherwise, we will be using the third-party tools. Any third-party tools. Go online and search for third-party tools for generating WSDLs. From there, you can generate a WSDL on your own. Generally, client will have his own WSDL generator. So he will give you his tool and he will give access for you. You can generate your WSDL. So for just learning purpose, I'm going with this sample WSDL. So how to develop this one, we'll see. Okay. So if you're having this WSDL, right, you just click on this WSDL and copy this entire data. So copy this entire data and save it in a WSDL file. Or you can say notepad, and I'll save it. Entire file should be present from definitions to the definitions. Until definition end, it should be having. Just save it as WSDL file. So in training, I will say my t-shirt example dot WSDL. So save it under dot WSDL file. So it will come like this. Now we have to load this WSDL file to generate our Mule project. So while creating a new project, we remember while doing how we are doing our using RAML, we used to design it in the design center and we used to import it, right? But here in Mule, it won't allow us to generate visuals in design center, so we won't be using design center for it, but we will be loading it from our local file only. So here I have something like this: import RAML file from local. So here I can go and select my file. So here I will select t-shirt example. So it is automatically taking what are the port is present, service is present, automatically giving. So here I will say soap provider. Okay, I'll click on finish. So automatically the project will be created. So as you all know, RAML, whenever RAML we are giving, it will create API kit router. In a similar way for SOAP provider, it will have SOAP router. The rest everything is same. What are the operations it has, whatever the operations we have in the digital file, it will be same. It will create flows for each operation. So here in this visual we have three operations. That is why it is creating three separate flows. And how they are being redirected? They're redirected by SOAP router. And if you want to configure something like you want to have your own API, like you don't want to this one, but you want something like this. I will say provider example. And after this one, let's go for list inventory. For list inventory, I will say instead of all this, I will just say body. So this is automatically generated code. I will just remove this body. And in this body, we will keep our normal response like we have been generating, right? Code equals to 200 and response equals to, sorry, something like this. So here you can perform all your operations. Let's say we have discussed like inserting and or updating anything. So you can have a flow reference here, and you can create your own file. So in this project, you can create. So we have discussed in one class how the structure goes, the entire Mule project structure goes. So based on that, you can create here. Okay, as of now, I'll just run and show you how this is working. So for this one, I will debug. I will run in the debug mode. So whenever we are hitting it, let's see the execution. So as we have done in the API router, I will just keep a breakpoint in the SOAP router so that we'll understand how it is going. Let it run. In the meanwhile, I will set up my URL. So here, this will be my local host. So if you see the listener here, this is my localhost 8081. So here, if this will be default, so it will accept localhost also. So let me generate my URL. So I have something like this, right? After this one, my URL will be, let's say, I have given provider slash example. I will just copy this one. So this will be my URL. So whenever we are developing REST APIs, we will not use any question mark WSDL, but for SOAP, we will use question mark WSDL. So this is our generated WSDL file. So this is how our SOAP API works. So this will be my SOAP API URL. So in the meanwhile, let me check it is deployed. Yeah, it is deployed. Now what I will do is I will load this one in my SOAP UI. Generally, SOAP UI will be the perfect tool for running all our SOAP APIs. In Postman also we can run, but SOAP UI is better. So I will give my WSDL here and I will say SOAP provider. So whenever I have loaded, it will automatically trigger. Just for now, just go and click on next. See now my entire operations have been generated whenever I have loaded. So if I click on list inventory and I will see the request. So let me give some request here instead of this one. Let me give something like this. I will give like something like this and I will hit it. So our API will be triggered. If I click on next, it will go for list inventory. Same as this functionality is same as API get router. For RAMLs, we'll have API get router. For SOAP, we'll have SOAP kit router. And I will click on next. Error routing. 1 second. Here, what is happening is I gave Java, so I have to give XML. Let me save it. Okay, let me hit it again. Next, next. Body code response. 200 success. So in this way, you can perform all your operations in each respective flows. Okay, any questions here?
Can you summarize high level again for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
We did not develop any WSDL, right? Here
we have developed it. So we have developed this WSDL. This is our WSDL.
okay, but we took from the Mule official site, right?
Yes,
Actual WSDL.
official website
But
we
we
have
have
taken
given
the
our
WSDL.
own path to that.
Yes. So if you want to generate your own from the scratch, there will be some third-party tools generally. So we will not have our in Mule. We do not have that option where we can generate from the scratch the WSDL file. So we have to use some third-party tools. Generally, whenever the client is asking, right, he will only provide you in which one we have to create the WSDL and all. So once they give you WSDL, so if at all you have to create the WSDL, or if they already provide you the WSDL, so in that case all you need to do is download that WSDL file in this way. Download that WSDL file and load it. So how to load it? I have shown you, right? From file, while creating the project, just load it from here. Import YAML from local file. Whenever you load it, this entire project will be developed. So after the project development, so all the operations based on the use cases you have to develop. So here all the flows will be generated. In among all flows, you have to perform all the functionalities. Like suppose if you want to do any insert here or update here, you can do. Okay, any questions so far?
No, Kirti.
Okay, so this is very, very rare actually. So mostly no one will go for SOAP in nowadays. But if at all they have, if at all they ask you, so this is how you have to perform. Okay.
Okay, Kirti.
Okay. Now let's see one more thing. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Sorry for that. I got a call. Yeah. So if at all you're clear with
No
this,
problem.
now let's see. Thank you. Let's see one more
Okay.
component in Mule, that is scatter gather. So if at all you see in Mule what we are doing. Okay. Any questions? I heard someone say something.
Sorry, Kirti. Can you please click on that SOAP that connector once? What will be the configuration once?
So this
It
will be
looks like the
automatically
default.
generated.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything, whatever we have in API Kit router, it will be generated here.
Okay. Here also they give parameter, I think, right?
Yes, yes. So if you see here, everything. So we have loaded our file, right? So that file we can see here. And what this service, so this Visual has provided this service and this port. That is why they are coming automatically. But we are overwriting it, that one, using our listener. So we have kept this will be the listener, and in the listener we are saying this is our sub API path.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Kirti.
Oh. So in until now, until all the development in Mule, you might have observed that whatever we are doing, it is happening in a sequential way. Suppose if you are dragging and dropping anything, like for list inventory, I will do one thing. I will keep 1 second. Suppose I'm keeping this one in a list inventory. What is happening when whatever we are doing, so this will be happening in a sequential way, so step by step way, 1 2 3. And even if we keep a synchronous block, so asynchronous block, so in the beginning classes I have mentioned asynchronous block in the first 2 classes. So even if we keep asynchronous block, what it will happen, it will go asynchronously in the thread multi-threaded way, but that will also happen in a sequential way. But what if you want to do some operations parallelly? Let's take a real time example. Suppose an employee has to be onboarded in our company, let's say X company, and that employee has to be onboarded. For that we need to insert our data into, let's say, 3 different databases. First is HR database, the second one is finance database, and the third one is background check database. So what should happen is, we should not wait for the responses of these 3 databases. Even if it is successful or not successful, we just have to insert and we just have to send the response. If at all this is our requirement. So if we keep my, let's say I'm keeping these 3 shapes, like I will keep insert. So let's say this is my insert into HR, insert HR, and then I will keep insert. This will be my insert, let's say finance database, and then I will have something called as BGV, like background verification. You are calling some in database, or let's say you are calling some REST API, anything it might be. This is just for example, for understanding I'm saying. Suppose you are calling something like this. If you keep in a sequential way, step by step, it will wait for whenever the execution hits, right? So it will wait for this completion of this execution, and then it will go for finance. And after this execution completes, then it will go for BGV. So if you want all these things to be happening parallelly, You should not wait for this execution, but it should happen parallelly. All at a time it should happen. So in that way, when what we have to do for parallel processing is we have to use scatter gather. So we have something called as scatter gather, where it will allow us to execute all the steps in parallelly. So in interview questions, they will ask you this for definitely. How to do the parallel processing in Mule? You can simply say we can use scatter gather. So if at all I keep scatter gather here, what I will do is I will keep, let's say I have this I have this 4, I will keep in a 4 ways. So I will drag and drop this one. So here I can see the black line. Yes, whenever I see black line, I will just drag and drop it. First one, next is, I will see second one, and third one, and fourth one. So if at all we see like this, what does it mean is all these 4 will be executed parallelly. Okay, let's see how this one runs. Let me stop this execution first. Yeah, so let's see how this execution happens. Like step by step will it happen or parallel it will happen. Let's see. So for this one, I will just remove this one and I will keep loggers for our understanding, or I will keep transfer messages. So let's say I will keep my transfer message, and I will set the payload as something like this. So it will say the first I'm just mocking the data instead of calling the original what do you call APS. I'm just mocking the data for our understanding. So let's say my first response will be for these employees. It is the response is success or something like this. And in the second response, what I will be getting is I will be getting the information about BGV. Let's say that is BGV. I will say I will keep employee and I will keep BGV response. Yes. BGV response, BGV response, and BGV response. And for first one is success. Let's keep second one in progress. And the fourth one, third one, okay, failed. For this employee, the background verification failed. Let's assume this. And for the third one, what I will keep is let's do something called as criminal check. So I will say criminal response success, and this is also same. Okay, let's give something like this. So how this executes? Let's see. Let me run in the same project instead of creating new project. I'm just explaining in the same project. Debug. So I'll keep, yeah, I have kept my breakpoint here. Okay, it got deployed. Let me hit it from my SOAP API. Okay, click on next. And yeah, now if you see, all these three will be executed parallelly. 1, 2, 3, and response. Something like this will be happening. So in this case, when you have to use this, whenever they say, whenever the client requirement is that you have to use, you have like you have a time crunch. Like if you don't want the entire API, if at all you are exposing this as SOAP API or REST API, it should not take much time waiting for the responses which are not used. So the client doesn't care if at all the finance check has failed or BGV check has failed, but he doesn't wait for those checks to happen, and he doesn't want that to happen, that to take much time. So in that way, you can simply use parallel processing. Okay, this is very important question. So they will definitely ask you when how to use how to achieve parallel processing. Then you have to explain about scatter gather. Okay, and how to check the responses. So if you see here in the payload, after this three, how to gather the payload. So from scatter gather, how many components you keep? Like here I have kept three flows. I mean three components, right? These components are executed parallelly. That is why in the payload, if you see, I'm having three responses. Earlier in Mule 3, it used to have in an array way, but in Mule 4, they have changed it to object way. If you see here, it is not coming in an array, but it's coming in an object linked hash map. Whereas in 0, in value, you will be having your response. So simply you can check here what is the value coming here. I can check payload dot 0 dot payload. This is my first response. I mean first payload. If I want to check the second one, I will just give 1. This is my BGV response. And for the third one, I will give 2. This is my criminal response. Okay, all these three will be available in this structure, payload dot whatever the number dot payload. So how to accumulate this one? So today we'll see some transfer message operations. I will show you the operation which is important for filter. So I will show you this one. Until now, any doubts here? Any questions about scatter gather?
No, Kirti.
Okay, so let's see how to gather this one. Like suppose here I'm having 3 different types of responses. Like until this place, like for the logger place, I have let me paste it. Payload dot 1 dot payload. 0 dot payload. I have this one. Let me capture this. And if you don't want to go away this one, right, you can just simply pin it so that if I go back, it will be staying. So let me just copy and paste it. I have, this is my first response. And for the second response, this is my second response. And this will be my third response. Okay. So how to accumulate this one? I want something like the real-time example. So what client asks is, okay, whatever the response that you are getting from 3 APIs, I want that to be in a consolidated way. Let's say I want in a way where like you want, this is a consolidated response. Like this is the entire result in which you will give some employee information. In this one, like here, you will have an open and close bracket. And in the employee information, you will give the employee ID something like 201. And after that, you will give the response like for the checks, you will give something like this. Background check and criminal check, you will give something like this. For check, should have the detail about BGV response and also criminal response. So for that, in the you have to have for the 3 elements. Let's see how this goes. I will unpin it and I'll click on here. So let me drag and drop a transform message just to accumulate the data. So here, until now, you must have understood that all in these classes, whenever we are dragging and dropping an object, you will be getting something called as map object. So in what is map and in detail, we'll see in tomorrow's class, like how we use map and what are the operations, transform message we'll see. But generally, you must have understood that whenever we are doing with dealing with array objects, the map syntax will be automatically coming here. So for that, let me show you. I want something called as result, and result I will keep payload dot. It is coming automatically 0 dot payload. So if I keep this one, what I will be having is I will be having the first one. Enter this thing will come because this is an array. But if I want to iterate in this one, in an array format, I will use map. So here map, it will have some value like emp, comma emp index, something like this. So what does map does is in this one, whatever we are mentioning before map. So I am having payload dot 0 dot payload. So before this one, it will iterate through this syntax. So what we have in payload dot 0 dot payload, we have this one, right? So it will iterate through this one. So this is an array, it will iterate to this one. So simply let me show you. If I keep this one and I will keep employee ID equals to, I will use emp dot, it is coming automatically emp dot employee. Simply I will save it and show you how it is coming. And I will save it. Let it run. Okay. Next. So here I have 3 responses. After this one, I'm sending to map. So if you see here, I'm getting in result, I'm getting employee ID, employee ID, employee ID. All employee IDs will be coming. So if at all I use map, this is my advantage. I can iterate through the map. So what it is doing is, it is iterating through this payload. So whatever we give here, it will iterate to this, and it will give us as the result. So here I'm having in employee ID, I'm assigning emp dot employee. What is emp means? Under this one, whenever we are using map, we will mention some item here like emp or index, whatever you can keep. So to reference to the elements in this, we use emp. Emp dot employee means from this one, it is using the first one, employee. That is why it is giving this response. Now, if I want, suppose if I want response, what I can say is, I will give response equals to emp dot, or let me keep a comma here. Yeah.
Yes, response spelling was wrong. That's why I think.
No, it should not happen. Response emp dot response. Since I have not kept comma here, it will not come. If we should keep a comma, because this is next element, right? We should keep a comma, and I will send it. Let me save it again. Let it run. Okay, let me trigger it. debugger next. Now if you see the response, we are getting all the responses with respect to that object. Okay, now if I want, like first I have now what I'm doing, I am just getting the details of the first payload because I'm using the index 0. Now if I want the details of second index, what I will say is here comma, and I will check responses. I will give. So in which I have to iterate now. First one I have iterated for the first details. Now I have to iterate through the second payload. So that's why I will give. I will copy this entire thing. 1 and I will give. After iterating through this, what I want. So this is my second response, right? BGV response. What I will give is I don't want employee, but I want BGV response only. So for that I will give BGV response equals to you have to use different index now. It is better to use different index. I will give EMP BGV EMP. BGV EMP. Now I will do BGV EMP dot. See, it is giving BGV response. Now let's see how the response is coming after saving this one. I'll just send Control S. Let it run. Okay, let me hit it. So I will keep a breakpoint here. Instead of doing step by step, I will just resume it. Okay, it came here now. So after this one, you can see EMP ID 2001 response is success, and you can see check responses. It is having all the responses, whatever we are getting, success, in progress, and failed. So it is giving all the responses for all employees. But this is not required, right? So we want to understand, like, for which employee what is the respective BGV response. Suppose for 2001 respective response is success, and for 3001 the respective BGV response is in progress, and for 4001 the respective response is failed. So how to filter this one? You should not get all the details, but we have to filter. So that is why we can use in transfer message something called as filter. So instead of getting all the details from here, I can say filter. This is a function in transfer message. So you can check in the documentation what we can use. Filter. For referring to this one, for referencing of for this one, whatever the elements present in here, you need to do dollar dot. So what do we have here? On which basis we have to check? We have to check on the, so for checking we need to have some common element. Like here we have our employee number. Employee number equal to, I will have to check with this employee number, whatever it is having. Like from the previous one I have to check. I will keep paste. Now I will say, now I will run it, and I should get the respective BGV responses. So this is similarly something like if you have some Java knowledge or C knowledge, whatever we are doing, we are just filtering it. So we are filtering one array to another array using a common element. So this element, so background references in the first one. So here in this responses, I have this one. So what is my key element here? Employee. And also what is the key element here? Employee. So how to link this one? I will just simply check if this employee equals to this employee, then give the response of that particular employee. That is the thing we are doing here. So let me just hit it again. I will say resume. It is coming here. Next. Now if you see, it will be having responses only particular to respective to that particular employee ID. Result EMP ID 2001. For that response is success. BGV response is success. 3001 success for its BGV response is in progress. And in the similar way, 4001 success for its BGV response is failed. So the respective information, whatever the respective information we are getting, we can accumulate it in this way using filter. Okay, any questions here? This will be little confusing in the beginning because all the writing here and all the coding, it will be little confusing, but don't worry, it will come on practice only. So you have to do a lot of examples like filtering, how you can check, like if you want to filter in this way, if you don't give filter here, what is happening we have seen. If you are giving wrong ID here, what will happen? And what are all the things you can perform? You have to explore by on your own. You have to explore. Okay. And in the similar way, if I want to give, now I have added BGV response, right? Now if I want to add the third one, what is my third one? This is my third one, right? Criminal response. So if I want to add this one, all I need to do is simply see here for check responses, I have given this one. Now I will give criminal response equals to, I will use this one. So instead of payload 1.payload, I will use payload 012. And here also I have to use map. I will give criminal emp index. This one also you can keep unique just for coding standard. No need to for avoiding confusion. And I will give for this one what I want to use. If I want to use, so here I have used in the similar way. I will just give C response, or I have already given here, right? So I will give null response equals to, here I will use this one dot, I have not used comma here, dot, I can give terminal response. But again, I have to filter, right? So I will use the same filter. I will check from the above one. Filter. In this payload, I'm checking for the employee equals to the main employee. So let me run it again. I'll send it and I'll save it. Okay. Send. Now you will be able to see all the three things: response, the first response, BGV response, and criminal response. BGV response, criminal response. Now let's just verify if it is coming correctly or not. For that, what I will do is I will give in the response only success BGV response, BGV, BGV, BGV. Save it. For criminal responses, I did not give criminal BGV at all, so we should have some differentiation. Okay. Next, Mule Debugger on resume. Okay. BGV success, BGV in progress, BGV failed. Whereas for criminal responses, it is coming from the criminal responses, that is third transform message. This is with respect to each employee. For this employee, these are all the result. For this employee, these are all the result. Okay, this is how we accumulate whenever we are using a transform, when a scatter gather, and if we want to accumulate all the responses which you are using in the scatter gather, this is how you can accumulate. If this is on just, this is not mandatory. If at all this is mandatory, like if at all they're asking to accumulate, then this is how you do it. Okay, any questions so far?
No, Kirti.
Okay, try this on your own. So here I will be sending you this one in the chat box, the code. So this will work only if you are giving the responses in this way. If you are changing your responses, the code may be different. So I'm giving you this example one. Just go ahead and try it on your own. Okay. If there are no questions, we can wrap the session up and we can continue tomorrow.
Okay, Kirti.
Okay, Kirti. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.